Why wait to create?
Everything good has an expiration date. Everything great has an expiration date.
So why wait?
To create? Because everything great has an expiration date.
Everything great has an expiration date.
So get your priorities straight.
Or it'll be too late.
So wait, everything.
No, if you
don't wait.
procrastinate,
If
it'll
you
be too late.
procrastinate, it'll be too late. So don't wait, create.
Yes.
Okay, so everything great has an expiration date.
So get your priorities
straight
before it's too late.
Before it's too late. So get your priorities straight. If you procrastinate, it'll be too late. So don't wait, create. We're close. I feel like we're close with that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is there, so for sure.
Everything has an expiration date. Are we doing it again?
I was just adding the tag.
Oh, okay. So check this out. This is the first part of a 3-part series. And the series is called Expiration Date. Because everything does expire. Everything that's great has an expiration date.
Wait, that doesn't make sense. What about a diamond or a boat?
Is a diamond or a boat great?
Well, I guess if you compare it to something else, what's great? What's greater? A diamond that's beautiful or a perfect ripe tomato ready to eat right now? Which one of those is actually great?
I would have to go with a tomato, Tom.
Me too.
All right. Probably every time.
Because it can sustain you. Because remember, we're talking about sustainability right here.
Yeah,
So,
tomato actually has value.
Yeah, something
Real
that you
value.
consume has more value, which is why it's fun to be an artist. Because it's not just about the thing that you make hanging on the wall. It's about people taking in the thing that you make when they see it hanging on the wall.
Because if a tree falls,
And there's nowhere there to see it.
is it really art?
If a tree falls, is it really art?
Yeah.
Right. So what we're talking about today is don't wait. So I have had several people talk to me about their careers in music in particular, and they go, "Oh, my industry people told me to wait on my record and I should wait till the big labels get excited about it before releasing it, or wait till I have all my ducks in a row and the right money behind the right PR and the right this and the right that." And then 2 years later, they don't put out their record. And then when they do put it out, it's last year's dress and it's stale and it had an expiration date. And they should have just put it out when it was cool. Now, there are certain things that are projects that are decades long. I have clients that have been working on things for a long time, but those are classic things that have a longer expiration date, okay? Those are things that it's okay to take a while doing. But for me, that's not my gig.
Like Avatar or Star Wars or
Sure,
something.
like certain large projects or concept records and things like that, those can take a long time. But the good news is what with most of those things, the good ones are classic and they hold up. So when they come out, they're still this year's dress, or they're still the classic black tuxedo that never goes out of style, you know. But I've also been in projects with people in the last few years that there was a very trendy sound. It was very cool right now, and only the wrong people heard it. Meaning, you're supposed to say, what do you mean, Phil?
Yeah, what do you mean the wrong people?
So when only the wrong people hear your stuff, that's when you wait and you don't share your art with the audience, and you give private SoundCloud links to all the people in the industry because you're trying to get their help to make it. And then your thing never comes out to the public. And then all of those people are influenced by your thing that's fresh. And then they have the resources because they're above you on the fish ladder. And they have the resources, and they take the best part. They cherry pick the best parts of your ideas, and they use them.
So the right people heard it, just in the wrong way at the wrong time.
Well, the audience didn't hear it.
The audience, yeah.
The audience heard someone else's version of this same material, you know?
Ouch.
And so it's like that part of putting out your music is protecting yourself too. Because if you just have it on a hard drive or on a private link and you're just sending it around to industry people, like, you're sharing your toys with those people who are just going to take your toys. Like, put your music out. Unless you're looking for collaboration with those people, then that's great. And then that's awesome, and do that. But in this, there's been a couple different instances where I was working on something really fresh, really cool, and like, the cool people in the industry knew what it was, and they went ahead and just took some of the cool things about it and used it for their own purposes, and didn't need to invest in what we were doing because we didn't have a big public demand for what we were doing because we didn't release the material in time. And then we finally released it too late, and no one cared. And so you waited all this time for all your ducks to get in a row and for people to care. And then and that didn't happen. So then you put it out, but then the people who would have cared, which was your audience, because this is a thing that we were playing out on, we were playing live.
Wow.
We were getting some serious momentum.
This was your own personal
This was a
project?
thing that I invested time in. Wow. Yeah. And so when you don't release material that I have invested in, I stop investing in you. That's what happens. Sorry to be harsh, but I want to have like an expiration date on my tracks that I work on. Like, if I give you tracks, if I work on a project for you, I want it to be like invisible ink. The clock is ticking. If you haven't put it out within a year of when I gave it to you, it's invisible ink. You can't use it now. Or maybe if you might have to pay me again to use it. That might be my policy. It's like a penalty. It's a penalty clause for sitting on it. Yeah, you have to pay me again.
Empty mansion tax.
Yeah.
You're sitting on gold and you're just hoarding it.
Yep. Empty mansion tax. That's totally true. Yeah. I am going to do that policy.
It's no good for anyone.
If it's not out within a year, you have to pay me double. Yep. Or you can't.
Is that an official notice?
I feel like with very few exceptions, there's a couple things that are not out yet that I've been working on for some people but it will have its time and it will have its release. So I will continue to be patient with those things, but that's not really my style. My style is to have it out.
Yesterday.
Day of.
Yeah. Same day records.
Day records. Yeah.
Same day. Amazon right there.
Yeah. Like keep your ideas fresh. And that's all we have at a scrappy level. If we don't have the big budgets to do stuff, we are more nimble. We can be faster, and our ideas can be fresher than the big corporate things. And so that's like kind of a cool spot to be in if you know how to wield that weapon.
So the 3-part series is Expiration Date.
Mm-hmm.
The first part is Why Wait?
Why wait?
Yeah.
Cool. Expiration date. Why wait? You shouldn't wait. You need to get it done now while it's cool.
I like that. You should use that part.
And while you care about it too.
Yeah.
Because 6 months from now, you might be like, well, I could do the vocals better, blah, blah, blah. And you're always going to second guess yourself because that's an artist's job. I get it. Okay. But, that's why it's like I always try to encourage the singer-songwriters to let someone else decide how great the vocals are. you know, because you're never going to love your own voice. So that's why you have to have other people to trust, because there might be a really cool flaw that you don't like that everyone else is like, no, I loved it when your voice cracked there or whatever it is. And you're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, that's the gold right there sometimes, which we've talked about that in the past.
Yeah. That very thing right there, that's happened to me, like my own, if I'm playing something or singing or whatever, and I go listen to it afterward, and I'm just like, whatever. In the moment, you the player are aware of every tiny infinitesimal, what's that word?
Infinitesimal?
Infinitesimal.
Infinitesimal?
I know that word, and I can't.
I just don't know that I can
Road.
really pronounce it.
Road. Are we procrastinating right now?
I don't know. Are we?
I don't know. It's pretty funny. We're creating funny stuff. I'll be playing, and I'll deem something like, nope, unusable. Because I feel every little thing that's wrong with it, which is why I'll always get better. Because I hear my mistakes. I'm going to always improve. But you know how many songs I've sat on from my own band? Like some old Hat Trick songs or Still Automatic with my brother. He could write an album. He can write an album in a weekend.
Right.
10 to 17 songs, no problem.
Yeah. Wow.
Done. And he even wrote a novel recently.
Cool.
And the first book, he did it. He researched how to pitch it to people, how to find editors and publishers and all that, and did that process. And he found out you had to do 7 rewrites. And so he did. He did 7 passes through.
Wow.
Did the thing. And then his second novel, that took him 2 years. Then the second novel, third, he did like 2 to 3 more books in like a few months.
Wow.
Books. Anyway,
Cool.
So genius, right? Clearly like a lot's going on up there.
Yeah.
And if he and I are just going to get caught up on every little thing we don't like about our stuff, then, which we did, those songs never saw the light of day.
So you're wasting genius by trying to overthink it or over criticize
because we wanted American Idiot rock opera in 2004, 2005. We didn't have the budget or the time for that. And,
right.
We had great songs and great things happened with the ones we did release. We actually, one of the songs we released called By Your Side. You should look it up. It's a really good song.
Cool.
By Your Side. We were on the Bob Rivers Write a Bleepin' Song contest in 2005. And we got second place right behind Brian Fennell of, what's his? Barcelona.
Oh, okay.
You know that group?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he had an amazing song, great voice. I was like, this guy's going to finish high up in this contest, And it was a demo we did. We just did it, right? I had a V-drum kit set up in our original studio, which is just this little external garage converted to a rehearsal space. Then my dad bought that house back when maybe 98-ish. I was like 13, 14 years old. And I was like, yes, this is amazing. But just this little whatever studio and whatever kind of setup. I was getting ready to go to Turkey to play with an artist there for a few months or a little while. And so like all my stuff, there was storage. It was just like whatever room at that time. And I'd just gotten Pro Tools, so it was new to me. And it was a very scrappy situation, right? Just like whatever. Put some treatment, lay it up against the wall over there and sing the vocals, and just like bleh, everywhere. And some of our best stuff ever happened in that very moment. We did 17 to 23 songs, somewhere in there, in a 2-day period.
Wow.
Long nights, long days, that's a lot of content.
Yeah.
But we only spent 2-3 hours per song, but there's 17, 20 songs. So that's, that's 2 days of just hustling, right? And everything was done. They were laid down. They were edited, whatever, and mixed. And everything was done in just a couple-day period. And because I was leaving, I had that expiration date. That time was going to expire. And whatever we got before that expiration date is all we would get for that time. And that was actually probably one of the last times I ever got to create with my brother, which for reasons that maybe I'll go into later, some point in time. But that was 2004.
Wow.
It's 2019 right now.
Wow.
15 years later. So, you know, and so many people online, just all over the world will be like, I love that song, Green Spaceship, or By Your Side, or this or that. And it was all the songs that were done in that, like, phew, really super quick. I got a bunch of songs. This is how he and I spent time together. We wanted one last session shebang before I left, you know, and we released it. We did. And it's out there. It's on Spotify in this little demo tape thing. But so many songs, you know, we've sat on, and a lot of industry people that we know that are in successful bands and whatnot hear them and say, "God, this is great stuff. I love that song." This, that, we're like, and I'm sitting here like, it's rough, it's bad,
Yeah.
you know. But it was that initial just knee jerk reaction, first take magic type stuff, and it was great.
That's because you're capturing the true creativity and you're
The
not
essence.
squashing it. You're not over kneading the dough, you know?
Yeah.
And when people ask me like, oh, how did so-and-so get the perfect drum sound on that record? I'm like, well, it starts with the player, first of all, or even the concept. Like if it's a great song, it's a great tempo, it's going to sound great, you know? So it's the player, it's the performance, it's the inspiration. You know, then it's having a nice instrument or nice microphones and that kind of stuff. That's what gives you your last little edge. But that's not. But it's like people look at the polish of the paint on a car, and it's like, wow, that's such nice paint. And it's like, well, the body work is, you know,
That's the song.
if the car's all smashed up, you can put brand new paint on it, and it's not going to look good. You know,
Right.
Everything has to be solid. And so actually, if it's a really hot car and the paint's kind of crummy, you can kind of forgive that. So that's kind of how I feel about production too. Like, of course, we always want to go for the highest quality that we can. But if the concept is great and your production is homespun and scrappy and you just release it, like, go for it. You know, that's good. It shouldn't be the thing that makes you not release.
Yeah, the order of importance on any art is like the actual inspiration, the nug.
Yes.
If it's music, it'd be the song. What's the quality of the song itself?
Mm-hmm.
Second is the performance.
Yeah.
Everything else is like trickle down.
Yep.
I would say that's 98% of it. The rest is the last 2%.
Yep.
And that 2% can, you know, be a very big difference on how it all comes together and everything. But if you're, you know, sincere about your delivery, and you're all in on this song, this idea you have, and you're all about your performance, it's going to hit people. People connect with that. What grabs people in music, right? And the music is not what grabs people.
No.
The music's the medium. It's the carrier
Yeah.
of what people are actually connecting with. They connect with the soul of the individual or individuals delivering, and or the image of what's there. It's the essence of it.
The feeling of the song can get people. The story of the song can get people. The character of the performer can really get to people. You know, all
Guess
those other
what,
things
Phil?
are less important.
All those things have expiration dates that you just said.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So,
We might not be able to talk about what we're talking about tomorrow.
yeah. That's why we're talking about it right now.
Yeah. Hey.
You know, and that's part of it too, is like, if you're truly living in the present, then the present is constantly expiring. So get used to it. You know,
That's why I really like sand art. You ever watch sand art?
mm-hmm.
I get this, like, the OCD in me really takes over. I'm like, they're going to lose it.
They're going
But they
to
just
sweep it away, and then they just let it go.
They just keep creating.
The
And
art-
it's like the coolest
and then
thing.
they sweep it away. And the art is in the letting go. You know, that's a big part of that art, is just the letting go of it.
The
You make
release.
it and then you let it go. You release it. And that's what the third part of this series is going to be about, is the releasing of the art, and which is both putting your art out, but also learning how to let go of your art, which also has been something that I will continue to learn. And that's just that the more that I let go of what I'm trying to make, the more room I leave for my collaborators to do what they're good at and to have a voice in it and to help me do what I'm trying to do. It speeds it up. Teamwork makes the dream work, people.
That's true. You know, we've said this before. We've had this idea for, telling the world about all these thoughts that we've individually and collectively had for years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if either of us were to do this by ourselves, it wouldn't be the same thing.
It wouldn't be happening right now because we would both have what we were describing earlier, which is like, oh, I played a drum track and then I went back into the control room and I listened and then I micromanaged it and picked over everything.
And then it expires.
Like our last episode when I was doing some of the video editing, I noticed I was like, I played some wrong notes on the cello, but then I was just like, the living in the present guy challenged that guy and was like, but what is wrong? What even is wrong?
What is up?
What is up? What is down? What is a wrong note? What is a note? Who even cares? And I was just like, okay, I'm just letting it go. And I just let it go.
I'm gonna let these go.
And it doesn't matter. Yeah, let those go. It doesn't matter if there's something right or wrong or who's to say. And who's to say what flaw is good and what flaw is bad? I mean, that's where the taste level
Who's to
comes
say what's
from.
flaw?
Yeah, exactly. Would you rather have a perfect, waxy, polished apple, or would you maybe want to have one that has some blemishes on it? I feel like the blemishy one might taste better.
Or would you like to have one?
Or would you like an apple? Or would you like a pear?
You know what I mean? I feel like you try to get it to this place, and so you never even have one. Because you're making it. You're caught in the making rather than in the doing.
Yeah.
The completing, right? Like,
yeah.
Have made it already.
Oh, that reminds me of the funny, stereotypical character that I can kind of make up in my imagination based on an amalgamation of several people that I've met. And that is the person who is continually like the cool guy. And he's like, oh yeah, my record's coming out this fall. It's like cooler for him that his record's coming out this fall, or like they're almost done or they keep working on it. Because as soon as he puts out the record, then maybe it's kind of a fear-based thing too, I think. It's like, if I actually put out my music, then I can't just be the cool guy who has something cool coming up. I have to be the guy who just put this thing out, and then other people get to decide whether it's cool or not. And that's scary to people.
Because you can be judged once it's released.
Yeah.
But if you're making it, then, well, it's not
Yeah, if
finished
it's
yet.
still under construction, then I have the upper hand because I can be like, oh, I've got something super cool, but you can't hear it yet. So you just have to trust me about how cool I am.
It's also cool to be in the studio.
Right.
But maybe not
Right.
cool to release a product that you're not proud of or something, or
Right.
something that people don't like.
It's more scary to release stuff because you risk not being cool. Whereas if you just perpetually always have, oh, my record will be out soon, and you just keep pushing the release. It happens a lot, especially with people who are afraid of not being cool. So, and what's so funny is that the coolest people are the people who are not afraid of not being cool.
Yeah.
The cool people are actually people who don't care about being cool. That's the whole thing.
That's what people are attracted to.
That's what defines being cool.
It's
so
the essence.
You're
They're drawn to it.
self-sabotaging.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is that procrastination is the exact perfect enemy of creation.
Procrastination is the enemy of creation.
Procrastination is the lack of creation.
It's the antimatter.
It's the anti-creation is procrastination. Yeah.
It's the perverter.
Mm-hmm.
It's the preventer.
Yes.
It's the excuses.
And procrastination is not just not doing. This is what I always preach. Procrastination is a verb. You are choosing to procrastinate. Every second that you spend procrastinating isn't just you being like, oh, I don't feel like it right now. It's you actively going, I'm not following my dreams. I'm every time you procrastinate, you're making a decision to not follow your dreams.
It's a verb. ATE is
You're
a verb.
squashing your own dreams by not doing them,
Wow.
which is an inhumane thing to do. Like, human beings are creative beings.
Didn't you say that procrastination is the enemy of humans?
Procrastination is the enemy of humans, because if we are creative beings, I mean, that's what differentiates us from a robot or technology or a bunny rabbit, is that we make things. We're creative. We write computer programs. We build houses. We build bicycles and canoes, and I mean, humans are nuts with
Solutions.
how creative.
We expand,
Absolutely.
all the time.
We build bridges over, water. We
Think of all these people that have made all these things, and other people were able to build upon. Think if they just procrastinated instead and just thought about this bridge I could make, or this skyscraper.
or
An
think
elevator.
about if the Eiffel Tower is. The Eiffel Tower looks so cool on the blueprints. It's just kind of too bad that nobody ever built that tower, because it's
not
such a
perfect
great
yet.
tower.
They got to refine it first and then build it.
You have to build it. If the Eiffel Tower wasn't ever built, it wouldn't be a great piece of architecture. It wouldn't exist.
Wow.
So get your Eiffel Tower off of the blueprints and get it onto the land and build it.
Because if you build it,
they will come. Yeah. So, you're self-sabotaging your own art and your own humanity by procrastinating. It's a verb, and you are choosing to procrastinate. You are choosing, when you procrastinate, to sabotage your own dreams, which is why I don't work with people who procrastinate, because I can't afford for them to sabotage my dreams.
So it's safe to say you could either choose to procrastinate or choose to create.
Mm-hmm. And if you
Pick
wait,
it'll be too late.
It'll be too late
to whip it into shape.
So get your priorities straight.
Shape it up.
Shape it up.
Go forward.
Move ahead. Don't procrastinate, or it'll be too late.
Too late to what?
To create. Everything great has an expiration date. Everything great has an expiration date. No way. I know I do.
I do too.